So yeah, so choose the book here, children. Now yes, you choose, you have chosen the book, and here it should we should have the choose option. What do you
Right.
want to choose? And here I don't want to write any values over here, right? I should not add any values in it. See, I'm able to add it. These are all are read only ones. You should not add. So that is also one change we have to do it. So let's do that. So for that, either you can go to the book reservation, choose the slot, because I'm not able to add anything from over there. So let me go to this one under book reservation, user interface, section, choose the slot is a section. This one is a section. Okay, so as I didn't check in this, that's the reason why I'm not able to do it from there. Yeah, this one, what we have to do is select this property and go to presentation. Instead of auto, make it as read only always. Likewise, book name. Okay, so you can go to this action, refresh. Can you see now? It's not, this time it's not possible. Yes. So you want another option called as select. So what you do now? So you have to create one property in this book details, right? So that you have to do it in the left side now. That should be the first one, or it can be the last one also. If you want to choose, you want to make it last, you can make. So you have to create one property. So what is that property? I'm making it as select. Okay. So this should be what it should be, true or false. Checkbox. Say, right? You need to select why you want checkbox. Why should not be a radio button? Means you are providing user to, like maybe he can select two options also. Means two books also. Right? So dot select. What happens now? Where is this property being created? Means this property is created under data class because it is under table. Okay, a table is calling a page property, which where your page property is referring a data class. So as it is referring the data class, whatever the properties you create here will be what? Of data class only. So you have created an extra property in data class. So you have created one property there. What is the property? A checkbox property. Submit. Save. Right. So this is first one, right? This is what? The first column always should be a primary, and none other columns should be primary, right? So as now we see the second column is primary. So it should not be primary, make it as secondary, and then go for a primary. Yes. I use select here. Select as primary. As I said, you right. The one which you select as primary here need not to be a use as key of your data class. Okay, this is only just to represent the data out there. Yeah. So let's go to presentation. Instead of auto, let us make it as editable. Why editable? User has to select, right? All these should not be editable by user, but this particular column should be selected by the user. So that's why we made it as editable. So now let's go back here and click on refresh. So it's getting a refresh. I just go to this, choose the slot section once. Go. Can you see now select option? Can I select this? Yes. So this is how you select actually.
The sequence number will
do we have option to hide the sequence number, or
Yes,
it will
yes,
be
we have.
there?
Yes, we have. Now we'll go back to the numbering. Why that numbering is coming. So click on this table settings icon. In the presentation, can you see display row numbers is there?
Yeah.
Unselect it, submit, save. So what you have to do, you have to go to table in the presentation. You have to do this. You can add, if you do not want title for this, you can remove that title also. You don't want collapsible, just it should be a bar. Let it be the bar. Okay. See, gone. There is no even title also. So now what we have to do is whenever I select like this, two things, and submit this in the next page, it should show me. Either it can be in the next page or it can be in some other place where it should show me that the selected book details are these two things with the you want to show these only two things, not all the four. Okay, you want to show everything, like what did you choose, and slot from and date to from date to date, all should be in read only, but it should not show these two. Okay, it should show only the selected one. So how do you do that? Got it? A requirement. I hope you understood the requirement, right? How do you do that? Copying means which rule? Data transform. Yes. So copying. Have we seen this already? We have seen something like
Yeah.
update. Update. What is that? Permanent and temporary address, right? But there it is only one data to be copied there. But here it is two data, two records. So how do you do that? So for this we need a data transform. So let's create one data transform. So before creating a data transform, we need another page list property also, because these two records are also you need to store these two records in a property. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes. So, and if it is only single record, you could have taken page property and used these all things. But here it is not single record; it's multiple records. So for that reason, what you have to do? You have to take page list property. So this page list property is what? It is the selected books. These are the selected books by the user. Okay, these are the selected books. This is actually books which are there in your database. But now the page property which you create should have what? It should have the only selected books which are by the user. So for that only, what I'm doing, I'm creating a creating a data model property. So what's the property? So your property name is selected books. So it is of what? It is a page list property. So this is from which class? It is from data class. Is it manually or you are referring it from a data page? We are copying from here, right? What is actually happening here, we'll see. Okay, submit this. So what is important here for us now is we have to check the data. Sorry, we have to check the clipboard also. So let's go to the clipboard. What is happening? Yes, PY work page is talking about book reservation. Can you see? Choose the book was fantasy. Then expand this. You have book details. So now this data here, it is not coming from data page. Where it is coming from? It is coming from your clipboard. Okay. So in the clipboard, already the data is there in where? It is there in your property. Which property? Which page? Books details page. So if you expand this, all four are one. Why it is one? Because I think you selected fantasy, because that's why it is showing fantasy here. If you select here, fantasy is there, right? Harry Potter and all those things, and select is a one which you created as true. I mean, which you selected it. Okay, as you selected
Mm.
it became true. If you are not selecting, then becomes what? False. Okay. Yeah, first one we
Okay.
need to have another pages property, and to copy we need to have a report sorry, data transform. So let's create a data transform now. So it should be data model data transform, and it is for what? It is for selected books. So from where you want, from which is it simply single value property, or is it a pair? Is it a uh,
List.
list? Yes, it's a list. So from list, every time we need to check whether what we need to check, what we need to check. So for example, if I save and run this, right? So here, what I do, I'll select like this. I now children. So now what should be copied? It should be copied. It should copy only the values which you are selecting. So that means what? First it checks this particular record, whether select is true or false, it will check. If it is true, then copy all this. If it is false, then it should go to next. And here it should check true or false. If it is true, then it has to copy. If it is false, then it has to go to next. It should check this particular thing, whether it is true or false. If it is false, it should go to next. Even if it is true also, it should copy and it should go to next. So in that way, it should do all the records. It should check each and every record whether select option is true or false. So it is what it is repeating here. So in data transform, do you have any action which you have to do? Be repetition means you have something called as for each page. Okay, for each page. So in this for each page, you have to write what is the property. That is book details. Okay, so for each page what do you need to check first? You need to check dot select is equal to
True.
you have to select this. Whether this will work or not, we have to see this. Now your data is in where? It is in clipboard or not? Your data
Yeah.
is in clipboard? Yes, your data is
Yes.
in. So your clipboard source is, you know it, right? Dot book details is your source. When I say clipboard, then you need to write py work page, and the class name is the one which you have written. Okay, so your source is in py work page dot book details dot author. That should be saved under what? Under author. Yeah, for each page in book details, you have to check whether when select is equal to true. If it is true, then what you have to select? You have to select py work page dot selected books dot author. It should show, but this will give you an error. I'll say why it will show error. Okay, so it is showing an error because whenever you're selecting this py workpage dot select books dot author, it is a single page. It's a single page. This is a representation of single page. But tell me whether your selected books and book details are single page. No, right? They are page list properties. How do you see page list properties in your application and in your clipboard? How do you see that? You will see simply as a property, or page list means what happens in the subscript? You'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Where is my PO web page? Can you see what is there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you write this 1, 2, 3, 4 over here? Did you write here? Oh, where is that? New. Did you write that?
No.
Can you see here? Invalid expression or reference. List or group property reference book details is missing a valid subscript value. If I write like this, for example, if I write like this, 1, 1, and save, error gone. But every time in which record it will copy. It will copy in the first record only. So overall, how many records will be there here?
Maybe 7.
After completing this, how many records will be there? After completing this data transfer, means once this data transfer is executed, how many records will be created under selected books?
1.
Only 1, because every time it is getting replaced. Okay, so that means whatever I have written in the in this particular subscript is wrong. Then what I need to do? I need to replace this with symbolic indexes like current.
Current.
Current. So now what happens? It will first check this, select equal to true. It is true. Then in the current it will change. So for each page in, then your book details will go to the second record. Current will be what? Second record now. Okay, it will be second record, and it will change here. Again, it will go to the second record and copy it. So we'll see this whether this is also right or we need to write any other symbolic index here. We'll see. Okay, so how to see? Action, run, run. Can you see? Valid repeating here. Let me change this to append. That is also giving me repeating. Okay, so first let us add only one record over here. Okay, only one column for the record, not all, only one column for the record. Okay, shall we use this particular data transform in our application here? Shall we use that?
Yeah.
So when it should be done? Whenever after submitting this, the data transform should call. After submitting this, the data transform should call. That means where you have to configure your data transform. Data transform should be called on connector. After this connector will be there. You can call in that connector. In this particular connect flow rule, you can do it, or you can do it under flow action also. So let's do it on the flow action. So data transform can be configured on flow action. So what is that flow action? Choose the slot flow action. Here I'll go to action. In the action, after submitting means post process. Okay, so let me go back to this, and so I selected these two. Now I'll submit. So let's go to the clipboard. So now in your clipboard it should show selected books also. Yes, how many?
2.
Right, 2. You got it? Why only 2? Because you selected only 2, that is RR, and next one is what I don't know, some PDL I have given author, because only one that we have given out there. Yes, any doubts in data transform? Should I explain this? So this is how you do it for each page in book list. Every time you have to check this, but very difficult, right? I need to add next one again, set. Again, I have to use this. Again, I have to copy. Again, I have to do these all things, right? How many things are there? If there are 10 pages, 10 columns, then how many times you have to write? 10 times you have to write. So then we'll go for something called as append it.